at you with another fireside beer review today. I've got an interesting one. This should be unique. I'm looking forward to this. It comes from Basecamp Brewing here in Portland, Oregon, a local beer. And this one is the Nomadic Blood Orange Double IPA, and it's made with Brett. So it should be interesting. They say that this has an English IPA backbone. They say that it has Belgian tropical funky Brranomyces in it. They credit the blood oranges coming from fields of California, and then of course they've got Oregon grown, good old Pacific Northwest hop varieties all through it. So we're gonna get this one cracked open. I love their aluminum bottles, if you will. These are really fun. This is a 9% ABV beer, and it is 70 IPUs. I can already smell it. Look at this. I mean, that's pretty beer. That's more than a finger head on there. So just about a 2-finger head, and it's got kind of a reddish orange color. Kind of really fun, but let's get to that nose. Yeah, as soon as I opened it, I got the citrus and that blood orange smell. But there's more. It's a bit cold. I'm not getting a lot off it. I got it when I first popped it open, but you got this really beautiful sweetness. I got the scent of blood oranges, but then I got some other stuff. So I do think there's going to be some tropical and interesting stuff off of here. It's hard getting much through the head right now, to be honest. It almost had a scent of a candy-like scent at first. Definitely the blood orange. And but I really got this malt sweetness and just a light amount of the funk, but I'm not able to pull a lot more out of it than just that. So we're gonna just dive in, and maybe I'll check the scent again in a little bit. Cheers. Oh, that's different. That's quite unique. I've got to get another taste before I try describing it. Okay. All right, I see where they're going with it with some of these descriptions. So they called this an English backbone. I would say that probably it's not as big of a backbone as we often have. It's not the level of sweetness that we often get. I would guess that they probably use like a Maris Otter in it as far as the base malt goes. You're not really getting like a lot of caramel type character off of it. So it's a little bit lighter in terms of, yeah, the malt bill, you know, the whole, all the grains in there. You're not getting the type of sweetness that I normally get out of the US, particularly a West Coast IPA. And particularly when I think of double IPAs and how sweet they are. But on top of it, you're getting the Brett character coming through, and it really hit me at the end with a big old zing. And it's well carbonated. All right, I'd almost say this is over carbonated. The blood orange character doesn't have a lot of opportunity here. It's in there. It definitely is. But the Brett character is so sharp. It's so big and sharp on the tongue. And I would say that it's over-carbonated so that it's making it hard to taste. And now look what I did. I just swirled it up. And I'm back to almost a 2-finger head with a light swirl. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna let it kind of off gas a little bit. And maybe I'll be able to taste it better as the carbonation is reduced. All right, I had to take a little time to really kind of work off some of the carbonation. I'm gonna swirl it again though. Even now it's still building a little bit. So they didn't quite do this right. I would say that the Brranomyces was still probably active in the aluminum bottle, and was building additional carbonation to them already pre-carbing the thing, I would think. So that's definitely a detractor. But we're gonna get the nose again and another taste. Yeah, something that happens when beer gets over-carbonated, sometimes it comes off almost slightly oxidated in taste, and I would say that to me it comes across that way. But you're not really getting like a lot of bright blood orange or anything like that at this point. Actually, you're almost getting a funky, stinky scent, which makes me think of stinky cheese, which is really interesting. So we're gonna go back for the taste. It's drinking better. It's not burning my throat. I actually can taste it now. It's not particularly sweet. There's just a big bitterness on this beer. It's not even what I would call a fun, funky beer. It might have been something that they did well in small batch. I don't think that it really worked for canning and part of distribution. An interesting choice on Basecamp's part. It makes me wonder how much they tested it at their own brewery and in distribution of kegs to different locations before deciding to can. Because for me, this is just not doing it. And they make some really good beers. It's fun in that it's unique and it's different, but I don't think all those components quite work together. I've had some good blood orange type things, and I've had some good citrus things. I've had good Brett IPAs. But something about the combination, the way that they did it for me, is just not hitting it. It's not your normal fun, funky flavor. It's not a fun sour. There's a good bit of bitterness to it. Yeah. And like I said, stinky cheese kind of an aspect. You can taste the sweetness in there someplace, kind of buried. You can get some of that blood orange, but that should be a forefront. I think it just doesn't balance out. So in terms of double IPAs, yeah, I can't rank this well at all. I have to rank it very poorly. Its creative concept, I would give it points for that, but I really can't give it much more in that category. I'm giving it a C+. It's a 78. I've had some guys that do Brett IPAs, homebrewers that make things that are just far superior to this. In terms of overall, yeah, I'm going to go a bit lower. I'm going to go straight on down to a 76. Right there. I mean, this is basically a straight up C. It's still a fun bottle. Don't let this deter you from getting things from Basecamp. They generally make some wonderful beers. For me, this just didn't do it. But it is a great brewer in general. This was the Nordic Blood Orange Double IPA. If you're just curious and want to try it, go for it. But it's not a recommendation from me. It's from Basecamp Brewing here in Portland, Oregon. This is Kevin with Comments Number saying life's too short to drink cheap beer. And I'll see you in the next beer review.